Yo, what's going on, guys? So, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about, am I actually natural? Um, I've been meaning to make this video for a while now, and so, I feel like the best way to say it is just to come out and say it, be direct and be honest and upfront. And so, I actually don't really know how to say it. I really don't even honestly know because I'm just gonna leave it up to you guys to decide. So this is the truth, and this is the full truth. And I'll break it down with pictures and visuals over here so you can see what I'm talking about. I've never taken steroids before. I will claim that. I've never taken steroids. I've never taken anabolics, but I have taken MK and I have taken melanotan 2, and I've taken tadalafil. I don't know if like tadalafil would even be considered even that, but I know that WADA specifically bans MK and MK677 is what I took, for you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, and melanotan 2, and I'm gonna explain why I took these things. So with MK, so this was, I don't remember the date. I'll include the date in the video. I think it was around like May. I think it was May 1st was the day. So this day was a pretty significant day for me. I shaved my whole fucking head. I was bald. I was losing a ton of hair, and I don't want to make this whole video about like fucking hair, but this is the reality of the situation. I was extremely insecure about my hair, and I was losing my hair, and I'll explain why in like another video if you guys are like genuinely curious of why I was losing all my hair. I was taking finasteride at the time for about 6 months, seeing no progress. I took minoxidil for 7 months, didn't see any progress. I lost a ton of hair during that. And this was something that I heard about from, I don't know even honestly know where I heard it from. I just heard that, MK could potentially regrow hair. And this is the truth. This is the main reason why I took it. I didn't take it because I was like, oh, maybe I can gain some more fucking muscle doing it. And I'm gonna explain, I actually didn't gain any fucking muscle. I looked horrible. I looked really shit on it. And it was I regret the decision. That's like my only regret probably in this situation, is like, that's, out of every mistake I've made a ton of fucking mistakes, but this was like, wow, like, I was really just acting out of a state of fear here, now that I look back on it. And I only did it for about a month and a half before throwing away the whole bottle because I had just horrible results. I wasn't seeing the hair growth that I was looking for. I didn't see any progress at all, and it didn't grow my fucking hair. So I threw it away, and I had horrible side effects as well. Crazy water retention on it. Yeah, I didn't see any fucking results at all from it. And so I'm gonna wrap it up with that. I can include more information about that as well. I have the visuals and pictures as well from like, before and after, when I started. And you can see like clearly my physique was just fucking shit. It looked fucking horrible, and I was just ugly and very insecure. That's the reason why I took it. With melanotan 2, why I took this. So I was out in the sun a lot. I was doing a lot of roofing, and I realized that's probably just a stupid excuse. It's not a stupid excuse. I was tired of getting sunburnt all the time, and I heard that it did a phenomenal job with helping that. And it's true. I did see I got pretty fucking tan, very quickly, and I wasn't getting burnt anymore. And I realized that like maybe this is a good way for me to protect my skin long term without having to constantly apply sunscreen all the time. And so that's pretty much that. And I'm gonna leave the video there with all of that information, so you guys can decide what you want with that. I still honestly, this is my perspective, honestly, I still consider myself to be natural because my physique This is the truth also, what I believe, at least. You know, and I feel like I would be being dishonest if I left those two things out and didn't say I took those ever, because it's true, I did take those things. But I would also be being dishonest as well to say that like I made any progress at all with my physique or any muscular development or gained any muscle by taking those things, because I didn't fucking see any results at all, muscular wise at least. And all I saw was a lot of fucking water retention, and I got ugly as shit. So you know, that's the truth. And I'd be being dishonest with you guys to say like my physique was built from was enhanced by taking those things, because it's not fucking true at all. You know, I 100% believe my entire physique was completely built from my belief system, my style of training, you know, what I know, my genetics, and that's it. And I'm just gonna leave the video there at that. So with that being said, I'm gonna walk you guys into the rest of like my journey for the next part of the video, me talking about like my whole come up career from like the beginning to where I am now, pretty much, with how I actually acquired my physique today. And so with that being said, you know, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you guys. In this first picture that I showed in the beginning, I was around 135 to like fluctuating from 135 to 141 pounds on the daily. And that was like, you know, water intake, whatever. But that was like, I was really dehydrated after that photo. I had just taken, I didn't take anything. I had just gone to go do mulching for like 8 hours. So I was extremely depleted and dehydrated. So I was like weighing around like 134, 135 pounds right then. And you know, I wasn't lifting at all then. I was pretty much, I think I did do like I used to do like some push-ups, and occasionally I would do like curls and stuff on, you know, just in the basement, because my dad had weights in the basement. So I would just go like downstairs sometimes, and I would hit like, you know, I would either do some push-ups, and I would do like a little bit of bench on like 2 sets or something, and then I would do some curls, and then, you know, I wouldn't really lift at all besides that. So that wasn't like a whole like bodybuilding split though that I was doing. Like I was just doing like biceps, and I was just doing bench. So I wouldn't really consider that like me fully lifting, because I didn't even train legs, I didn't train my back, I didn't train my shoulders. I wasn't training anything besides my biceps and my chest for like probably just like, I think I did that for around 2 months or something. It was like kind of off and on. I was playing like a lot of H1Z1 at the time, so I wasn't really like that worried about fucking getting size. I was worried about fucking getting I was way more worried about getting royalty 1 or 3 than I was about fucking doing my workouts then. I just kind of like wasn't really didn't really have like that massive drive to go lift yet. I mean, I had like the anticipation, but I knew that you know, summer was coming to an end and I was gonna start school soon, so I wasn't like gonna dive into like, you know, fully working out and stuff. So I just kind of did it occasionally for fun, whenever, just doing some bicep curls and doing bench press occasionally. And then after that, I started water polo season, and I'll put a picture up over here of how I looked after water polo season. You know, I was weighing around 150 pounds there, so I gained like, you know, probably like 5 to 8 pounds of size within just like me doing bench and biceps. So that was really all I was doing. And then you know, I was weighing around 150 pounds then, and so I started like, I was trying to lift during water polo season a little bit, but it just wasn't fucking working at all. So I had like maybe like 3 to 4 months of just doing like biceps and chest, and I don't think I was doing anything else besides that, and like some push-ups and shit. And then I started it was actually my water polo team that came up with the name Swolby. So I didn't even make that name up, actually. The guys on my team, they just made up the name Swolby, and I was like, that's funny actually, because my name's Colby, so they just, you know, you get it, right? So you know, that's how that came about. And then after water polo season, I was just learning so much information. I just kept on studying like people like Athlete X and other YouTubers, and watching like pro bodybuilders, and watching like videos of Arnold, and like, all these golden era guys lift, and like Mike Menser and stuff. And I was just watching all these guys lift for like, that span of when, I think it was like back in May, it was probably a little bit earlier than then. I probably started watching guys on YouTube doing fitness shit, like at the beginning of that year, my junior year. And then I wasn't really lifting though, because I was playing sports and shit. And then after I was like watching those guys for like an extended period of time until like pretty much after November is when I created my very first like bodybuilding split routine, where I just was like, I was going to do legs, I was going to do chest and arms together, and then I did shoulders and back together. And that was my very first split that I ever did. And I did that for like 4 months, and I had a crazy bulk then. I had like, horrible stretch marks on my fucking legs. I started getting like stretch marks on my chest right here. You can see they're kind of faded now. This one actually started getting red recently again. So I don't know if I'm starting to grow more on that chest or something. But that's like all the stretch marks that I have. I don't really have any more stretch marks, I don't think, besides that. But yeah, like the reality is I've never wanted to take anything. Even when I first started lifting, I didn't even want to take creatine because I didn't know much about it. And I was like, I don't need to take anything, right? Like I can just fucking lift and eat food first, and then I can figure out if I want to take any supplements on top of that. And so that was my whole like idea, is like, I'm not gonna start taking supplements until I like, achieve something first. And I didn't even know anything about creatine at the time either. So like, it wasn't like that researched back then as much as what it is now. And so I was kind of like concerned about whether I should even take it. Even my doctor, I had a whole appointment with my doctor about this, and we had a whole conversation, and he was saying that it's like, not good for you, and that I shouldn't be taking it, and that it's going to be bad for my kidneys and stuff. And he was warning my mom about it, and my mom was thinking that it was like some type of steroid or something, literally, bro. And so I didn't even end up taking it at that time, because I was like, I'm not going to take it right now because I don't really need it anyways. I'm pretty sure I started taking it about like a few months after I started lifting though, because I was like, well, I'm gonna just like take it on my lifting days and kind of see like what's going on here. And oh my gosh, I gained like 10 pounds, like literally in the first, I think I gained like 8 pounds in the first week, and I gained like 10 to 12 pounds in like the next 2 weeks or something after that. And I was just like, I felt like I was just blowing up, bro. I'm not sure exactly what I ended that bulk at. I think it was like around 172 or something was when I ended my first bulk. I'll see if I can find a picture or something over here. So, that was my very first bulk that I did, and I got to around like 172 within a matter of like 3 to 4 months though. I was already benching 315 that first 4 months that I started lifting. I think I hit it on my 3rd month of lifting. I was benching, like, I started around like 235 or something. But remember, I was already doing some bench in my basement before. So like I already kind of knew, I was already kind of familiar with benching. So I wasn't like, completely started benching and then all of a sudden I just benched 315 in the first 4 months. Like I was doing some benching before then as well, and I was doing push-ups as well. So like, I don't want to give that vibe that I was like, all of a sudden I just benched 315 in the first 3 months of my lifting career, because that's not completely true. So I was already benching, I think like my max was around like 235, or I think it was around like 225, 235 when I first started, or I think it was like 225 or something. And that was like my max. I hit 225 in the first month, I think. And then I just, went up from there. I just went crazy. And my squat was around the same as well too. I think I was around like, starting around like 185. Got up to 315 for like 2 reps or something, 2 or 3 reps by the end of my bulk there. And that was my first ever bulk. Now that I have like a much better like system in place with like my recovery protocol, like I didn't know shit before about recovery. And I had faced that injury back in like 2023 or 2020, at the end of 2023, or maybe it was 2024. I faced that injury where I tore my quad, and I really had to reevaluate my training style then. And so before I actually tore my quad though, I ended up gaining, because I started doing like a whole recovery system before then even, but it still wasn't enough because I still had that quad tear, and that was just me being stupid and doing like almost back-to-back leg days, you know, crazy heavy weight, which was not ideal at all. But the thing that helped me the most was like I literally just prioritized my recovery instead of my training so much, and I had to hold myself back from going to train in the gym. And I gained like another 8 or 10 pounds literally right after that in the first 3 months. And I started repping 315. I went up, I mean, I talked about it before in a post, I went up like 100 pounds on my squat in this time. You know, there was just like, I literally just became so internally aware of how my body operated that I could just completely just like, I had so much massive internal belief that I could just do whatever I wanted to. I could just take off and explode. And you know, when I would go into the gym, I had some of the craziest sessions during that time. But that is literally how I built my physique. I'll talk to you guys more about like my blood work. I don't want to make this video too long. It's getting around like 15 minutes now. And not just that alone, you know, this new super conscious awareness that I've gained over just the past couple of years, when I had my first like kind of like transcendental experience, you know, I really gained this like new philosophy of like just aligning myself with this person that I knew I could be. And so because of that, I started to see better results. I literally grew, I think about like 8 pounds, honestly. And I, you know, my squat went up like 100 pounds. I was repping 315. Like I was really just killing it a lot in the gym and stuff. And it was because of like this super conscious awareness aspect that I gained through meditation to allow me to align myself with a better mindset, better training style, and maximizing my recovery, literally figuring out what I needed to do for my recovery in order for me to be more successful, and then just honing in on like better foods as well too. Even though I wasn't honestly eating better foods, I was eating a lot of like chocolate muffins and like ice cream and like Popeyes and a bunch of other shit, but at least I was eating steak and I was eating in a surplus. That's how I have, you know, the physique that I have now. You know, I am only weighing around 188, 190 pounds right now. You know, I've dropped a lot of weight because I haven't been eating very well recently, or a lot of food either, because I've just been trying to, I don't know, you know, I'm sure it's a limiting belief and I got to figure that out for myself, but haven't been locked in with my food, and you know, honestly haven't been locked in with training as much as I wanted to, because I'm trying to figure out this whole like, you know, coaching thing, and just revamping my page entirely and trying to figure out where I want to go. And like, you know, that's the truth though, guys. Like, you know, you guys can believe what you want. I've never taken anabolic steroids. I've never taken steroids in my life, and I honestly don't really ever think about taking them. Like, you know, I have so much more to give naturally, I believe, that why would I want to potentially hurt myself and harm my body and my mind when I have so much more that I can give naturally first. So that's the, like, you know, that's my whole conversation though, is like, why would you want to take something if you know that you have more potential naturally? You haven't even tapped into the most extreme version of yourself with your mindset. You haven't even tapped into the most extreme version of yourself with your training or your recovery or your nutrition. Like, if you were truly locked in on all 4 of those categories for like 3 to 5 years on end, you know, then I could say like, okay, bro, like, you know, you have really done the work here. You've really fucking shown that you can do anything naturally. Like, this is your top physique naturally. Then I would say like, yo, like, you know, you could potentially consider doing something at that point. But that's how I've built my physique today. That's how I've achieved what I have right here. And no, I don't believe any of it had to do with me taking those 2 things. I 100% am in belief that it is entirely based around who I am, who I show up as in the gym. You know, this whole process of gaining this identity, you know, from an early age, and you know, constantly asking myself, what would the best version of me be doing in this scenario? Like, would he be getting these 5 extra reps? And I know damn well he would. So I always go out and I grab that. And I think that alone has literally been the created process of like how I've gained this physique. And I think it's honestly, you guys can have your own opinions on whether you believe I'm natural or not. That's totally up to you guys. I respect your opinions either way. Actually, I'm genuinely curious as to what you guys think, in the comments and stuff about this. So, with that being said, though, like, it's honestly sad that we live in this society today where we are constantly in this idea of comparison. And I think that is the main belief of why there are so many kids, so many people nowadays, just taking steroids, taking TRT, taking all these things that they really don't need to be taking. It's lifestyle changes that you need. It's not the fucking gear that you need. And I get it, if you really do have an underlying belief and I'm in an underlying situation and you have to absolutely take it, which I don't think that's entirely true, but if that's what you feel is required, then it's your life. You make your own decisions here, right? But I'm not here to project that message on anybody. And I know for a fact that nobody has to be in that boat where they have to feel like they have to take something to feel a certain way, to feel confident in themselves, to have the physique that they want. It's not fucking true. It's not true at all. It's the farthest thing from the truth. And if only you knew what you were capable of. And I don't even believe that I am anywhere where I could possibly be today. This is like 40% for me. This is like 40 to 50% for me, of what I feel like I'm truly capable of. And you can say, oh, bullshit, bro. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's fine, bro. You can watch my journey. You can watch me grow over the next couple of years, the next several years, however long. I'm going to show you guys what is actually fucking possible here. I don't intend on taking anything. If I did ever take something, I would 100% tell everybody. I told you guys already, I took MK, I took Milano-Tan. That's the truth. But I do not believe that my physique ever had a transformation because of that. And I never had the intention of taking those things to gain muscle. That was never my intention. Like I said before, it was a massive insecurity that I faced with my hair. And I realized it was stupid, but I was acting through a state of fear. And, that's why I did that. For that short period of time that I did it for. And that's the truth. But I think it's honestly sad that we live in this society where we're allowing ourselves to, in our decisions to be dictated by what we see on social media. And my message is to show people that there is another fucking way. It's not the truth that you have to take something to achieve something great, or that you have to take something to feel great. And that's the main reason why people take things. And that's my whole mission here, is to show people that you can create something extraordinary for yourself through this gaining awareness aspect, like that I gained, through my transcendental experiences back in 2023 and up until now. I've gained this super conscious awareness aspect that has allowed me to bring a new identity into training, and to not just my training, but into my recovery process, to bringing my mindset to another level, another height that, I just keep on going, I just keep on growing more, I feel like, with my mental fortitude. And also my nutrition as well, aligning myself with all of these different things, has been a major shift in not just my consciousness, but a major shift in my training, my nutrition, my recovery. And it has allowed me to see things differently from an entirely new perspective, and a perspective that I believe has gotten me to overcome a lot of obstacles mentally and physically. And I think that I have a lot more to give, honestly. I feel like I'm just breaching the surface of what I'm truly capable of here. And you need to understand that you can do the same thing for yourself as well. With all that being said, I hope that you found something informative from this video that you can take away and start applying these things into your life, because this is a new way, this is a new approach, a natural approach. This is my mission, and I intend on carrying this out, for the remaining of my life here. Don't make the same dumb mistakes that I made, because I was so sad. I was so, like, just done with things. I was operating from a horrible state of being, and I looked horrible. I looked like shit. My face looked like it looked fucking bad, bro. My physique looked bad. You know, I was just like fucking done, bro. I was just like so done. But the thing is, I actually never gave up on myself. You know, I really didn't. You know, every time I wanted to, you know, I just knew that there was something, there was another way. There's a possibility that existed for me to be able to step into the version of myself that I knew I always could be. And that's what I'm trying to show other people as well. I hope you guys found something informative that you can start to, you know, figure out for yourself, and hopefully not make the same dumb fucking mistakes that I did. But you know, I am going to be opening up 5 new spots for this June for one-on-one coaching. If you guys are interested in that, the first 3 people, I'm going to be giving a massive discount to them as well. So I'm just going to leave that there in the link below. You know, I'm only really looking for people that are honestly, you know, feeling ready to do something new here, to find a new approach, something that's natural, that you don't have to like take something under the surface. I'm not going to make you do anything that you don't want to do, but I will say this though, you have to have the willingness to learn and to accept new information. You have to have the willingness to follow the protocol, and you have to have the willingness to face yourself, because that is the truest thing. You know, if you don't have the willingness to face yourself, then I don't think it's honestly going to be a good fit for you. But with all that being said, I'm going to leave a link below. You guys can feel free to book a call with me, see if we can figure something out for you, something that suits you. So I love you guys, and I really do appreciate it if you stayed till the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go.